Hey there, it is Steve, lead filmmaker with Steve Weber Films, and welcome to another episode of the Movies with Emotion podcast. Today I'd like to talk to all those newly engaged couples who are planning on attending a wedding expo, and I want to share with you guys my top 5 tips on how to get the most out of that wedding expo and how to make it work the best way possible for your wedding planning. Coming up next. That time of year again where all these couples around the country are getting engaged and starting that daunting task of planning the wedding day. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot of decisions that have to be made. Going to a wedding expo is a great way to find out about vendors and kind of get a direction on where to start and who to look at and kind of what prices are going to be and kind of get an idea of what you're up against. So today I want to share with you my top 5 tips on making that experience the best it can be so you get the most out of it and you can plan your perfect wedding day. So enough of me chit-chatting, let's get right into it with tip number 1. Create an email address that is specific for your wedding. Take a minute and think about your email inbox. If you're anything like me, your email is loaded with a bunch of crap, along with all the important stuff that you need, right? You're constantly getting emails from everybody. Creating a specific email address for just your wedding, say hannahadam22@gmail.com, is a great way to keep all of your wedding correspondence, your wedding information, your wedding emails separate from everything else. Creating an email address that is specific to your wedding allows you to keep everything in one place. So as you're going through your planning and you're talking to people and you're talking to vendors, you can keep all of that correspondence in one spot. It's easy to find, it's easy to organize. And the nice thing is that once your planning's over and your wedding day's over, you can just erase it and delete it. The heck with it. You don't need it anymore. And that way your email address is gone and you'll never get another piece of email from anybody else concerning your wedding that you don't want anymore after you're married. So create an email address that is specific to your wedding and it will make life so much easier for you in the long run. Tip number 2, print out a sheet of mailing labels with your information on them. You can get these basic mailing labels that you've seen on all kinds of envelopes. You've used them at work, I'm sure. And just type out a sheet of your information, your name, your email address, and your wedding date. Because when you get to the expo, all of the vendors out there are probably going to have ways that you can sign up for things, whether it be specials, whether it be a drawing, whether it be a raffle of some sort. And they're going to want your information, your name and email address, and what date you're getting married on. Rather than go through and write that out every single time you visit a booth, you can have it pre-printed on a label, and when you get there, peel the label off, stick it to the sheet, and you're done. It's going to save you a crap load of time at the expo. It saves you time, and it saves the vendor time as well. I don't know how many times I've had a bride or a couple come through and write down their email address or their name, and I get home and I can't make heads or tails out of it, because let's face it, not everybody has the greatest handwriting. This is also a time saver for the vendor because we can look at that and see exactly who we're talking to and who we're dealing with if you just put a label on there. So use pre-printed labels. It's going to save you a ton of headache, and it's going to save you a ton of time, and it's going to be easier for the vendor as well. Tip number 3, go into the expo with a plan. I'm telling you right now, the wedding expos are overwhelming. There are people everywhere. There are vendors everywhere. There are flashing lights. There's music. There are things vying for your attention all over the place and can be very intimidating. So going in with a plan is going to help you navigate that, and hopefully you won't be as overwhelmed as you would be if you went in blind. I would highly, highly recommend that you research the expo a little bit and find out who the vendors are that are going to be in attendance. Every expo I've ever done, the organizers have always put up a list of vendors who are going to be in attendance at the expo. And this gives you an idea who's going to be there, who you want to talk to. Make a plan to talk to specific vendors that you're interested in, that you want to find out more about. And that way you can go and find them first, get the important information that you really want, and then you can always go around and look at the rest of the vendors and the rest of the booths and just kind of chill out at that point. And maybe you find some information that you weren't privy to or didn't think you would need, but once you got there found interesting. So definitely go in with a plan of action of who you want to talk to and how you kind of want to navigate everything around. I would also recommend going with a group of people, and make sure this group of people are your biggest cheerleaders. These are the ones that are super happy about you being engaged and planning a wedding. These are the ones that are just over the moon that you are planning your wedding day and they get to help out with that. Whether that be your mom, your sister, your best friend from grade school, your maid of honor, heck, your whole bridal party. If everybody wants to come, make a day of it. So if the expo is in the afternoon, go out to breakfast and just make a day of it and then attend the expo. Or if the expo is in the evening, then go to the expo and then go out to dinner afterwards. And then you can all compare notes and figure out who the important people were that you saw and what were the booths that stood out to other people in your group. And just kind of brainstorm about it and find out who it is that you really want to talk to more, or if it was even worth it. So go in with a plan, go in with a group. You're going to have a great day if you do that. Tip number 4, do your research. As I said before, most expos will have all of their vendors listed and who's going to be in attendance. And this is your chance to go through and do a little research on the vendors that you really want to talk to. You know, take a minute and stalk them a little bit. Get on their Facebook, get on their Instagram, look at their website. That's why they have all these things in place. They're hoping to have you book them as the vendor for your wedding. And the more you can find out about a potential vendor before you go into an expo, the better, because whenever you meet them in person, then you can talk to them intelligently and you have an idea what it is that they do, how they work, and then you can ask questions to them face to face. So doing your research ahead of time will help you save a little bit of time to where you know ahead of time what these people do and what that vendor does. So definitely do your research, find out as much as you can about the vendors who are important to you, the ones you want to talk to, and then that's going to help you make a decision down the road. And it's also going to help you find out if this vendor is a good fit for you or not. So do your research. And tip number 5, the last tip, is the most important tip, is to have fun. Enjoy this experience. You only get one wedding day in your life, hopefully, and you'll have memories of going through all the planning process and getting everything set up. Going to the expo is just a great way to start that process up and really have a good time with people that are the most important to you. Vendors are going to have samples out there of cake, of wine, of food, catering companies. Take advantage of all that. Take advantage of every sample you can get your hands on. Just have fun, enjoy yourself, meet other brides out there, find out what their plans are, find out what ideas they have. There might be somebody out there that knows what they want to do and has an idea of what they want to do for their wedding, and you'd never heard of that before. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's really cool. I'd love to incorporate that into my wedding. Don't be shy. Talk to other brides. That's why you guys are all there, is to start planning the best day of your life, getting ideas and getting inspiration from other brides and all of these vendors who have taken time to come and show you what they can do and what they offer, is what a wedding expo is all about. At the end of the day, you want to have the perfect wedding day. You want to have the best day of your life when your wedding day comes along, and hiring the right vendors is a big part of that. Hopefully those 5 tips help you out and help you navigate the wedding expo world. If you guys need more information or want to reach out to me directly, reach out at Steve Weber at steveweberfilms.com, or you can just go to steveweberfilms.com, which is my website, and find out more about me, what I can offer. I'm always welcome to answer questions to anybody, anytime, anywhere, and I want to make your day the best it can be, and that's part of my goal. So hopefully these tips have helped, and hopefully you have a great wedding expo. Hopefully you have the wedding of your dreams. Talk to you later. See ya.